Hello. How to handle the pain of rejection by a divorce. I like to tell the story, and it's a true story, of 4 people who I was involved with when we were discussing how painful our individual situations were. Now, one person said, my situation is the most painful because I was left for somebody who was younger, taller, slimmer, more attractive. And then the second person piped up and said, no, my situation was the worst because, in my opinion, I was left for somebody who was older, less attractive. I can't see what they see in them. The third person said, my wife left me for another woman. And obviously we could sympathize with all the different emotions that sort of situation could bring up as well, on top of what a lot of people recognize as usual situations in divorce, that it got another layer to it. And then the other person said, well, my partner left me for nobody at all. And there was a bit of a light bulb moment, because what was recognized was that it wasn't about being rejected. It was more about the feeling of, well, apart from comparison, the feelings of not being good enough. It triggered feelings of lack of confidence, of lack of self-worth. And that was a different perspective. It's not so much about being rejected, it's about the feelings that it triggers within us of, we've done something wrong, we could have done better, we're basically not good enough who we are. And that isn't the situation, because if we have that self-confidence, if we have that self-worth, then nobody can trigger that in us. So instead, I began to realize that it was a situation that it wasn't so much there was anything wrong with any of us. It was more that somebody had changed their mind. They had decided, for whatever reason, whether we liked it or not, whether it was ethical or not, whether it fitted with our expectations or their previous expectations or values, they had chosen something different. And a common theme around these sort of situations is we have to recognize that we can't control anyone else's actions. But the empowering flip side to that is we can 100% control our own reactions and our own happiness. We're responsible for our own happiness and for our own direction in life. And that was a bit of a turning point for me. It made all the difference, because I told myself, I'm not going to let the decision of somebody else affect me for the rest of my life. And that might seem obvious, but when you're in that pain, when you're in that feeling of not good enough, and also that maybe that fairy tale idea that the prince or princess charming is going to come along and save us, and that we can't do it for ourselves, it means that mindset shift goes to, well, actually, I can do this for myself. I can make the changes. I can make the opportunities for myself. There's a very famous phrase that is used a lot in relationship breakup, which is, it's not about you, it's about me. And a lot of people find that really annoying. And I began to realize one of the reasons we find that annoying is because it actually puts a line under the relationship, because it forces us to see that there isn't anything that we can do to change somebody else's mind. So then the next step is, well, I can't change their mind, but I can take my life and make it how I want it to be. So if you're looking at this situation, finding it really painful, the question to ask is, are you actually being rejected, or is somebody else exercising their freedom of choice for something different? And the pain is about our resistance to accept that they have made another choice. The power is for us to be able to move on and make the life that we want for ourselves. And yes, that is disturbing in the sense it might feel like it's going to be a lot of work, but actually there's so many people will tell you that you can come through that process and come out the other end, and actually your life is way better than it was when you were in that relationship. If your ex feels that you're no longer a good fit, then the best way is to accept that and move on and not prolong the pain. And the best way to do that is to see what is it you can do for yourself to improve your self-care, maybe your health, take responsibility for things. So there's a few ideas about how to handle the pain of rejection by a divorce.